Hey everyone, Sam Ovens here, and in today's video I want to explain my strange behavior and the reason why, I do some weird things or some things that seem hypocritical or untruthful or kind of weird, right? And what I mean by this is, let me give you an example. Quite a lot of the time I will run ads on YouTube or on Facebook, and I even create content for YouTube. This is what this video is right now. I'm creating a video, putting it out on YouTube, right? But in a lot of my videos, I tell you to stop using YouTube, to stop using Facebook, and to stop using Instagram and all of this stuff, right? So a lot of people, I've noticed, they see this and it blows their mind. They're like, whoa, something's weird here, something's wrong. And they're like, well, why are you telling us not to use YouTube or Facebook if I'm literally seeing you on YouTube or Facebook, right? And so you'll notice I do a lot of things like this. There's a lot of things that look like contradictions, and they look really weird. It's like I say one thing, do another thing, and in today's video I want to explain it and show you the reason why. Because once you understand the reason why, it'll all become clear to you. And really, the thing that drives people's decisions and their behavior, if you want to understand what drives any individual to behave the way they do, then all you have to do is think about what are they optimizing for. Because humans are always kind of optimizing for something, and there's some kind of goal or destination where they want to arrive to, and their behavior is aligned to best achieving that goal. And once you understand this, and once you understand when you're seeing someone doing something, you want to ask yourself the question, what is their intent? What are they trying to achieve? What are they optimizing for? And once you know that, then you'll start to understand why people do the things that they do. Because as Warren Buffett says, the ants go where the sugar lies. And what that means is humans are controlled by incentives. Incentives drive pretty much all of human behavior. And if you don't believe me, then, just look at the economy. The economy has money in it. Money is an incentive. Why do people wake up and go to work and learn and go to school just so they can go out and get a job and then work? Why do they do that? Well, they do it for an incentive, which is money, right? And then if we look at the more extreme cases, if we look in China, where there's a law in China that says if you run someone over with your car and they don't die, you have to pay for their medical bills for the rest of their life, right? And so what happens in China because of that rule is that a lot of people hit someone in their car and then they check to make sure if they're dead, and if they're not dead, they reverse back over them and make sure they definitely are dead because they don't want to have to pay for their medical bills. And that's kind of a horrific example, but this just shows you the power of incentives on influencing human behavior. And another example from China is when they had the one child birth rule. And I think they've gotten rid of that recently, but this definitely existed for quite a long time, and you can research about it. But basically, China had an overpopulation issue, and they said to the people, look, you can only have one child per family. And so then what happened is a huge black market opened up of abortions. And, because a lot of people still got pregnant, but they already had their one kid, so they had to have an abortion. And then what happened, which was something that nobody kind of foresaw when the law was made, was that families wanted to have a male child because they wanted, the male carries the name of the family, and they wanted their family to live on. And so even if they had their firstborn and it was a girl, or, if they were pregnant with a girl, they would abort it and just wait for a boy. And, all of this, which seems pretty crazy, this is like life and death, killing your own kind of children sort of thing, which is pretty horrific. But incentives were at the core of this human behavior. And so if you want to understand human behavior, always look for the incentives. Ask yourself, what is their intent? And now, once you understand that, everything will make sense. And like I said in today's video, I want to explain why my behavior seems strange and what I'm optimizing for. And really, I refer to this thing as the Polaris Star. And so you've just got to imagine a star. Just color this in a bit so it's clear for you to see. Right? So this is the Polaris Star. And what it is it's your like true north. So the Polaris Star is basically the North Star, and you know, back in the day when people were sailing out at sea and you had no reference points, like if you had no land that you could see and there was no other ships or anything out there, you know, you could very quickly lose your bearings and you needed to understand where you were going. And so what the sailors did is they would use the North Star, the Polaris Star, to guide them. And so what you want to do is try to find out what someone's Polaris Star is. What is their true north that they're optimizing for? And then this will start to make a lot of sense. Now with me, what my Polaris Star is its student results. So consulting.com is my company, and that's basically an online education company, and we teach people how to start and grow their own business, right? Now, the number one most important thing to me is student results. That is the most important thing. So then, everything I do kind of revolves around this, right? And so whenever I make a decision, I'm thinking about this. And so when I run, when I create YouTube ads or Facebook ads, or when I create a content video and I tell people stop using YouTube and Facebook, you know, it seems like I'm being a hypocrite, but really I'm thinking what's best for the student. And quite honestly, this is truly what I believe, and I have absolute conviction in it, is that spending a lot of time watching videos on YouTube and spending a lot of time on Instagram and Facebook seriously ruins your brain. It is the antithesis of education. You know, if you want to learn and if you want to improve your life, then you don't spend time on these things. You spend less time on these things. And I've played with this myself. You know, I used to spend a lot of time on social media. But then I noticed I wasn't making a lot of progress, and I was getting my mind was getting all twisted and warped and all ADD. And then I started to really study it and research it. And then I started to find out that, you know, social media and all of these things, they get you addicted to instant gratification, which is very, very bad if you want to achieve long-term goals. And so I just decided to try doing some experiments. I decided spending less time on social media, and I just watched what happened. And big things happened. I learned more. I was more calm, I was able to focus better, I had better endurance, and I was able to stay more single-minded on achieving goals and getting things done. So I decided to completely eliminate it, and it got even better. And so, you know, I looked into the research, I tried both, and what I found is that the less time you spend on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of these things, the better your life will be. Seriously. So when I tell you that, I'm not thinking, how can I best look to these people watching this video? Because, you know, if I said, hey, you should follow me on YouTube and you should click that little bell button beneath there so that you get a notification every single time we watch my video, that's not good for you. You know, I see a lot of social media influencers. They tell people turn on notifications so that you get a pop-up notification. And then they tell people, you know, comment on my video in the first 10 seconds of it. And then they start releasing a video every single day. And basically what they're trying to do is, you know, their Polaris Star is definitely not student results. Their Polaris Star is fame. And when your Polaris Star is fame, you behave very differently. First of all, if you're a celebrity, you know, or if you're a social media influencer, you're trying to optimize for followers and subscribers and things like that, right? And so all of your behavior changes. You know, you're going to start really hammering people to subscribe, and then you're not going to create content like this. You know, because this sort of content isn't really mass market, mind-numbing content. And so I'm not going to get hundreds of thousands of viewers like really quickly. I'm not going to get millions of subscribers really quickly because there isn't that many people out there that are interested in this sort of thing, right? Most people just want to be entertained and basically just vegetate, right? And so they want to see, these different videos like those Paul brother videos, which I can't even watch. I almost had an aneurysm when I tried to watch one of them. I only got about 10 seconds and I had to get out, right? But it's amazing. That's what a lot of people want. And so, I'm not trying to optimize for subscribers. I'm not even trying to optimize for views or fame or anything like that. I really don't care about those things. What I'm trying to optimize for is student results. And how I do that is by honestly providing you with the best information so that you can change your life, learn something, and actually get results. And that is different from others because they just want you to subscribe and get followers and share and like it and do all of that. You'll also notice that the length of my content, I make quite long videos compared to a lot of other people make short videos, right? The average person's attention span is very short, so they have to make short videos that have cuts all the time in them. And that's because they're appealing to fame. But instead, I'm trying to appeal to people that want to improve themselves. And to do that, it's not going to be these like ADD strobe light videos. It's going to be, focusing on something in a single stream from end to end and taking away key pieces of information so that you can apply it and change your life. So hopefully that explains, a lot to you. And that's why I will use vehicles like Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and YouTube videos to tell you these things. Because seriously, what is best for you is to not be on these platforms. And a lot of social media influencers will never tell you that because it's harmful and detrimental to their following, right? Because I'm actively telling people, like, delete the platforms that you follow me on because I don't really care if you follow me or not. To be honest, what's best for you is to not follow anybody. It's to just find out what you want in life and then get to work on achieving it. And that's it. You just keep going at it. Day after day, just keep grinding at it. And you don't need to listen to all of these different people's opinions. You don't need to listen to all of these podcasts. You don't need to listen to any of this crap. You most certainly don't need to subscribe to someone and turn that goddamn bell button on that's going to pop up and notify you all the time. These people, they don't have your best interests at heart. What they have is they want to be famous. And when you get a notification from them and click their video real quick, it boosts the algorithm, and then it starts to give more traffic to that video because the algorithm perceives that video as really hot because a lot of people are watching it, right? So that's why on YouTube and social media these days, it's really messed up. You've got a lot of people that are optimizing for fame and then giving you business advice, which in my mind is completely fucked up because fame is not business. And so someone who has a lot of followers on the internet, that doesn't mean they're good at business. In fact, I've found the inverse to be true. If somebody has a lot of followers, what does that tell you about them? Well, it tells you that they've been trying to get a lot of followers, right? Because people don't get a lot of followers by accident. So if someone's been trying to get a lot of followers, then that means they've been trying to get a lot of followers. Now, is trying to get a lot of followers the same as being successful in business? No, it is not. So if someone is trying to get a lot of followers, then it is safe to assume that they are not being good at business or getting better at business because this one takes time away from this one. And so if they're doing this, then we can assume that they're not doing this. Or if they're doing this, then they're not doing much of this. And so then what that really tells us about them is that they're probably not very good at business. Seriously. Most people can't see it this way. The world's been kind of all like misled into thinking, the person with the most followers and the most views is the best at teaching you how to start a business. That is just not true at all. And you need to learn to see clearly. You need to see these things, right? Once you do, it'll change everything. Because quite often the people that have the best advice, they're not famous people. They're tinkerers. They're people that, don't really want to be famous or anything like that. They're not spending their days making these fancy videos like walking around in front of cars and jets. They're just working on something with their full concentration and experimenting and trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, and those are the people that can teach you the most. And I had to honestly learn this one the hard way. I had to navigate through the business minefield of experts. And at first I thought, the most famous person must be the person who is the best. It is almost never, ever true. It's actually a warning sign, not a signal that you should learn from that person. And so once I made this mistake a lot of times and I learned who to really look for. And it's the tinkerer. It's the person that can show you the results. And it's the person that doesn't really care about being famous. And you've got to learn to spot, what is somebody's Polaris Star? And you might be thinking, well, Sam, why on earth would you just want to help us and at the cost of your social media following and things like this? If I create YouTube videos telling you to delete YouTube and to stop watching YouTube videos, then that might mean that I don't get somebody watching my YouTube videos, or I might not get a subscriber, right? And if I tell people delete Instagram, delete Facebook, then that might mean that, I'm not getting people following me on these channels. Why would I deliberately go out and harm myself? This is what a lot of people think. They're like, this doesn't make sense. Why would he do that? And it'll make a lot of sense when I explain it to you this way. What I've found is that it's value that matters most. Value is number one. And so if you tell somebody something and they take that piece of information away and apply it in their life, and then if they get results from that, then it doesn't matter if they're following you or not. They're going to be a fan. And really what I try to do is build a fan base of people that listened to a piece of information I gave them, they applied it, got real good results, and I don't care if they follow me or not. All I care about is that. Because then they think of me as someone who provides good information that gets results. Not somebody who just creates hypey information to try and get subscribers. Because I really don't care about subscribers, I just care about students' results, right? And so that's why I do this. That's why my behavior seems very strange. A lot of the influencers, they're doing all of these short videos, lots of these strobe-like cuts, and, they're talking about generic topics, and it's almost like Hollywood meets business meets D-grade celebrity all coming together. And that's because that's what's popular on the internet. But that what's popular isn't what's best for you. Popularity is not something that signals causality. And causality is when you do something and it's causal. It creates a reaction, a desired reaction. But popularity does not mean causality. Right? It's almost a warning sign. And that's why I behave that way. And really, this is a good thing to think about for yourself. You really want to define what your Polaris Star is. What is that one thing that you care about more than anything? Because this makes a big difference. And I'll give you an example with Amazon. So with Amazon, they know that there is really about 4 or 5 things that they're optimizing for. And if they achieve this, then they win. Right? They've got it boiled down and crystallized to this degree. And what their number one what their Polaris Star basically is, let's draw this quickly. Now, Amazon's Polaris Star is customer obsession, right? So that's what they're optimizing for. But they achieve this by breaking it down into some key components or key axes. And the first one is widest selection. So Amazon, well actually I'll list out all 4 of them and then I'll explain each one. So the first one's widest selection. The second one is the lowest prices. The third one is the fastest shipping. And the fourth one is the cheapest shipping. Now, you want to pay very close attention to this, because this is like one of the most important business lessons you can possibly learn. You know, with a company, you need to define your Polaris Star. What are you trying to optimize for? With Amazon, they want to be the most customer-obsessed company in the entire world, right? But that's all very well saying that statement. How are they going to achieve that? How are they going to measure that? How are they going to form KPIs to do that? Right? Well, they have to break it down into these 4 components. They know that if they have the widest selection, the lowest prices, the fastest shipping, and the cheapest shipping, they know if they win along those 4 axes, then they win this, and if they win this, then they're the most valuable company on earth. And that's why they've actually achieved that. They achieved that for a short while. They were valued more than $1 trillion, and they were number 1 on the list. And it's kind of fluctuating a bit right now. And so this will teach you a lot. You know, this makes business a lot more simple. So widest selection means they want to have the widest selection of available products online, from books to Kindles to audiobooks to kitchen appliances, clothing, you know, anything you can think of, Amazon wants to have it stocked. And they do. They win on this. They have the widest selection out of any e-commerce store in the world by a wide margin. Lowest prices. So they want to have the lowest prices, cheaper than you can buy it anywhere else. And they achieve this. And, you know, if you want to know to what extremes they go with lowest prices, Amazon actually has pricing bots. And what these are is they're basically computer programs that go out and crawl all of these different e-commerce websites and pull their prices in real time, basically every couple of seconds. And what they're doing is they're crawling these sites, fetching back the data about what the lowest price is, and then they're automatically making their price lower than that. So they're always at the lowest. They don't even require a human to do that. If one of their competitors changes their price on a bar of soap, then in a couple of seconds, Amazon will change their price on a bar of soap and be cheaper. I kid you not, they do this. And that's because this is important to them. Same with the widest selection. Then fastest shipping. You know, Amazon does provide the fastest shipping out of pretty much every e-commerce store on the internet. They've got same-day delivery, overnight delivery, and, you know, their logistics network is insane. No one can get something to their customer as fast as Amazon can, or as reliable as Amazon can. And that's because it's one of their key focus points. And to do this, Amazon had to go to the extreme. They actually had to. Most e-commerce businesses, they would just focus on the web side. You know, eBay was actually bigger than Amazon for a while. And eBay just focused purely on getting people to come and list their products and things like that. And people would buy their products. And then they didn't worry about the shipping part. They just left that up to the seller to go and ship the product to the customer. And they thought everything would just take care of itself. And it kind of did, until Amazon got real good at fast shipping. And then as soon as Amazon got real good at fast shipping, people stopped buying from eBay. Because they were like, well, I can buy this from this person here, but I don't know if it's going to arrive on time, and I don't want to deal with all of these headaches. Amazon might be a little bit more expensive because it's brand new, but they can get it to me tomorrow, right? When Amazon started to beat the average shipping time from most of their competitors, the demand just went from their competitors, woof, over to Amazon. Then, cheapest shipping. This is another important thing. And this, Amazon's basically free. You know, they can give free same-day shipping or free, like, next-day shipping. So not only do they have the widest selection, the lowest prices, the fastest shipping, and cheap to the point that it's free. They win on all 4 of these axes, and therefore, if they win all of these, then they win this, and if they win this, then Amazon wins. All right? This is, honestly, one of the best strategies that I've ever seen. It is so simple, it's so clear, and not only have they formed it in theory, but they've executed it in practice and won. So that's how you know that this is a really good thing to learn from. And the whole time Amazon was basically alive, they've been around for a long time. In the early days, a lot of people couldn't understand Amazon's behavior. They were like, this company is a scam. And this Jeff Bezos guy is an idiot. What are they trying to run a non-profit or something? Because Amazon didn't make a profit for like 25 years. They were making losses, breaking even losses, and people couldn't understand it. They were like, this is a company, and they're not behaving like a company. They're a company, but they're not making profits. So everyone was up in arms and calling like Amazon a scam, right? But this is what I'm talking about. This is idiosyncratic thinking. This is when someone's doing things that don't make sense to you, but it seems to be working for them. Pay very close attention, because something's going on, right? No one could pick this up back then. Everyone thought Amazon was an idiot. And then what happened is they won. Because while all the other companies were focusing on profits, Amazon didn't really care about profits, and they were focusing on the customer. And by focusing on the customer relentlessly over the long term, they were able to provide the most value to the customer. And as soon as they were able to do that, everyone stopped buying from other companies and started buying from Amazon. And then when that happened, they started making a lot of money and getting very valuable. And so this is basically, where I got my line of thinking and train of thought from as well. With me, I basically focus on, I'll just rub this out, what I'm optimizing for. So I'll just put up here, consulting.com. What I'm optimizing for here is student obsession. Right? This is what I'm optimizing for. And that is why my behavior seems kind of strange sometimes. Because I will do things that seem kind of weird, like using social media to tell people not to use social media. It seems kind of hypocritical and contradictory. But really what I'm thinking about is not what's best for me and my subscriber count and my following. I don't care about that. What I care about most is what's best for the student, because I know what's best for them is what's best for me. It'll just take a bit of time to work itself out and for that kind of shift in the market to occur. And so this is basically my point. This is why my behavior seems a little bit strange sometimes, but when you look at what I'm optimizing for, it makes perfect sense. And so I really highly recommend that you, for your company, define what your Polaris Star is. What is your key thing you're optimizing for? And then break it out into its core components and its axes. The axes along which you want to win. And if you win those things, then you get that. And if you get that, then you get that. And then when you provide value to your customer, social media does not matter. Why do people buy a car, or why do people buy a MacBook Pro laptop or an iPhone? It's not because the CEO has the biggest following and the highest engagement on social media. It's because the product's the best. The value it provides to the customer is the best. And when you win that, you win everything. But right now the market's in a kind of delusional state because they've started to believe that likes, followers, and all of this means success. It doesn't. And they're trying to pull you in and become a part of this festering pool of stupidity. And what's best for you is honestly to get the hell out of there. You should delete Instagram off your phone, delete Facebook. If you've got the YouTube app, delete that too. And if you're on lots of people's email lists and you're getting all of these emails, delete it. And just stop inviting people to come and fuck with you. Stop inviting people to bombard your consciousness with messages all day long, because that's basically what subscribing to people and following people is. It's an open invitation to come and screw with your brain and distract you from the main thing that you should be doing. And so once you define this, all you need to do is do it. And you don't need to follow other people or do any of this crap. You can go out and seek information when you need it. Like if you've got an immediate problem that you need to solve in order to achieve this, sure, go to YouTube, search for the right video, find it, get the information, or buy a course, get the right information, or go to social media to conduct some research, but then get out. I'm not saying these tools are all bad. They're only good when you go onto the platform with a single intent and you just achieve that single intent and then get out. Do not go in there just kind of looking or just waiting for something to happen, because all that will happen is that you'll waste your life. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, just click that like button and then hit that subscribe button, but do not turn on that notification bell, right? Because these videos, I only release one of them each week, and they do help you improve your life and your business, but they're not as that important that you need to be interrupted in the middle of your day. You can just get to them like once a week and just use the ones that are going to help you the most. And also let me know what you thought in the comments section below. So thanks for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one soon.